Hello, everybody. Hello, holla. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Oyundi Furipredani Mashapa, Wanayana wa Muvenda. And if you're here for the first time, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, a veteran in this channel, welcome back for yet another exciting episode of Risk Money and Insurance, right? So don't forget, we are still on the road to 1,000 subscribers. I almost said 100k subscribers. I'm prophesying, I'm putting it out there. 100k subscribers. And don't forget to share the video with your friend. If you haven't subscribed, please click on that subscribe button below, and also don't forget to click the notification bell so that whenever I post a new video, you'll be notified, which will be on a Thursday morning at 7 a.m. Today we're back with another conversation. You know, we love tackling conversations about things no one tells you about. And so today we are back with the elephant in the room. We are just addressing the elephant in the room because we've been talking about a lot of things, but we've never set time to address this elephant that is in the room. And the elephant is black tax. Yeah. Let's just get into it. It's black tax, and we are unpacking everything concerning black tax today. So a good start will be, what is black tax? So black tax is the amount of money that you send home on a monthly basis. And honestly, this sort of obligation comes from the fact that not all of us come from rich families. Not all of us come from families where parents are able to provide for the family. Sometimes our parents are struggling, to provide for our younger siblings. We were the first generation, to go to varsity in our families and all of that. And so that alone comes with the pressure that when you've started working, you want to help out at home on a monthly basis, because you know that things are not that great and I can't live my best life in Sentin and forget about my family, So that's where it actually comes from, right? A lot of people see it sort of like in different ways. There was one person, I was in conversation with them, and they were telling me how they don't feel like it's a burden to them, right? But after unpacking all of it, then I understood why it wasn't a burden to them. But then we have other people that feel, OMG, I am struggling with black tax, right? And to be quite honest, it's important. I feel it's important for you to help out your siblings, after, you've made it in your family. It's sort of like you also want your family to improve in the way they live, and also improve in the way things are run in the household. So it is important. It's an important part of our lives. But I think where it becomes a problem, it's when you help out or you pour out to a point where you end up struggling now. Like, you end up struggling from paycheck to paycheck, right? And I think that's where the problem is, to say it has gotten to that point where you just pay rent, you buy groceries, you do whatever, and you send this chunk of money home such that you don't have anything, or you have like very little amount of money left to carry you to your next paycheck. And I feel what actually causes us to do that is because, number one, sometimes we just don't have the ability to say no, especially in the African, because of the way we were raised. You are told you can't, you can't debate with your parents. You can't sort of like, argue with your parents. That's how we are raised. And so even when it comes to us now saying no to our parents, because of how we were raised, because of our cultures, we sort of feel like it's not right to say no to our parents. And that's where the struggle begins. Because if you are going to stretch out yourself in such a way that you end up struggling, then clearly something is wrong. You need to communicate. And another thing is that when you start working, your uncles, your aunt, your cousins, they all just think you have money. It's like you are made of money. But honestly, we have bills to pay. I still need to eat. I still need to pay for rent. I still need to go to work. I still need to do this and that. Like, I still need to buy furniture for my place. I still need to buy kitchen stuff for my place. Like, there is so much that you can actually use that money for. And to be honest, even though you can cover your expenses, right? You still need to invest and save and build wealth. And one reason why people don't really save and they also don't invest, it's because after I've paid for my little brother's school fees, or after I've paid for my brother's, or after I've bought groceries for my family back at home, I don't have the money. I don't have the money to start saving or to start, investing. And it can go on for years, because imagine if they're still in primary school. That's your responsibility until they matriculate. And to be quite honest, I feel like I salute people who do that. I know my sister did that for me when I was still in high school. She volunteered to be like, oh, okay, I'll take care of her needs and whatever. So such things, I mean, yeah, you're the older sibling. Somehow you being successful, that should benefit your siblings, to put them in a better place. But I think the how you do it, that is the important part. And to be quite honest, a lot of people, another story from another person, they were just explaining to me how, for them it was like when they initially started working, they were sending a lot of money home simply because they just felt like they had to support the family and whatever, and there's a need honestly at home. And they said, like, but after looking at the amount of money that I was spending and what it was actually being used for, right, I figured I don't really need to send that much money home on a monthly basis. So that is another thing for you to sit down and say, okay, cool, I send 5,000 rand a month home, but what is it really being used for? Like, do they really need 5,000 rand? I think that's where it should start, because sometimes you send a lot of money, you struggle until payday, but honestly, that money is not being used, or that money is being like misused, So I think that's another thing to say, okay, cool, I can just say, how much can I give these people, so that you're able to put it in your budget. And in that way, if you know that this is my black tax, this is what I'm paying on a monthly basis, then you're able to budget like accordingly. But of course, this is like foreseen black tax. Other things happen. I mean, now it's Jan, it's raining. The roof might be leaking or whatever. These are some of the unforeseen things that can happen, and they can call you and be like, yo, it's raining here, we need money in order to fix the roof. Those are some of the things that you can't budget for. So you just have to, if you have an emergency fund, then you can dip into your emergency fund and work to replace that money which you've taken. So I think overall, another thing that I would like to say is learning to say no, honestly. Like, you have uncles, you have your mom. Sometimes people, because you constantly give them money, they might just assume you have money, whereas you don't. Like, you are also struggling to make ends meet, but because you understand that you need to help them out, you end up like struggling or stretching yourself. So learning to say no sometimes, like, if you don't have money, or if the money you have, you've purposed it for something else, to be honest and say, I would really love to help, but I feel like this month things are tight, I can't, I'm sorry. Like, saying no sometimes. Some people will call you and be like, oh, we're going out with my friends. It's your younger brother, your younger brother, younger sister. They're like, we're going out with my friends. I would like to go with my friends, And at that point in time, you're struggling. Like, the money that you have is what is supposed to carry you till your next payday. So if you feel the money you have is not enough to give them and still make you survive to payday, then say no. Like, learn to say no and not even feel guilty about saying no, because it is what it is. And as we are helping on people, I think another problem that sort of comes is the dependency, or people now being lazy, or people misusing money, or literally just wanting to buy things that they don't really need simply because they know you can provide. And whereas you, on the other hand, are just like, yo, I can't. So learning to say no will save you a lot of money, it will save you a lot of stress, and learn to say no and not feel guilty. I think that's one point I have to emphasize. Like, as much as you respect your parents, your uncles, your aunts, whatever, learn to say no. If you can't, you can't. If you don't have the money, you don't have the money, and it's okay. Like, learning to say no. And another thing is sort of like raising expectations. I mean, if you do something like every month you give me 100 rands, every month you give me 100 rands, you are raising an expectation that every month I get 100 rands from you, right? And so I think don't raise expectations you can't meet. Like, don't just dish out money to people whereas you know you're not going to be able to sustain it in the long run. Or even if you're giving them money, tell them like, okay, I feel like this month I have, a bit more money than what I usually have, so here's 100 rand, go out with your friends or do whatever. But to be quite honest, if it's not a need, if you're not providing for a need, then you would rather like use your money to do something like a friend of mine was saying, it's all about you investing in the people that you love such that they can sort of like their situation or whatever they're going through can improve. So for example, I might say, hey little brother, I won't give you money on a monthly basis, but this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be saving 100 rand every single month so that by the time you get to matric, I will have saved enough money for you to register at varsity, as we're looking for bursaries or whatever, as we're looking for scholarships. I want to save 100 rands a month for you, or 500 rands a month for you towards your education. I feel like that is a worthwhile investment compared to you giving them 500 every single month that they will probably use to drink, or probably use to, I don't know, smoke or do whatever. So that is a great, investment. So as much as we're thinking black tax, I don't feel that we just have to dish it out. Like, that money must have a purpose. What is it for? And also, if you don't have the money, you can just be like, okay, cool, I don't have the money. Honestly, this month I can't. So bye, we'll see each other when I have money. Or not even make promises. Just say, I don't have the money. I'm sorry, things are tough or whatever. Because at the end of the day, if we continue to stretch ourselves, right? Continuously stretch ourselves and not contribute towards building our own wealth, or contributing towards building or saving towards something, then we shall remain in the poverty cycle. And also another problem is sometimes our families are living beyond their means. And when we start working, because we want to show people that we have money, we start also living beyond our means. And combine living beyond your means with black tax and your family living beyond its means. For example, if you are in the sandwich generation where your parents depend on you and you have kids as well, and your kids are depending on you, then that just becomes horrible. So another way to actually deal with black tax, the third way, would be for you to actually live within your means. Like, don't overspend. Don't try to prove anything, as we said in the last video. Don't try to prove anything. Say no when you don't have the money. Don't raise expectations. Like, be honest, be brutally honest. I'm that person. I mean, when I started working, I just felt like I couldn't say to my mom, I couldn't say no to my mom, I couldn't say no, because I'm just like, I love this woman, I can't say no to her. But it's like in your head, you also have plans to say, this is what I want to do by this time. This is how much money I want to save by this time. This is how much I want to invest by this time. Until I literally just, I talked to her and I was like, Mom, I understand you want 1, 2, 3, but I also have plans of my own. Besides, your plans, I have my own plans. And so if you want money, then you must tell me like way in advance so that I also put it in my budget. Like, it was a communication kind of thing. But also sometimes it's not possible because it's an emergency. That's when you're just like, oh, okay, cool, I'll help out where I can. But for the most part, I'm like, I'm just gonna be honest, like, Mom, I don't have money. And then we leave it at that. I don't have money. She must just understand that I don't have money. So definitely, let's, as much as we want to help, let's put on our own oxygen masks first. I love this analogy from the plane. Put your own oxygen mask first before, you start helping out other people, because otherwise you're gonna die. You will die while trying to save the next person, whereas you haven't put on your mask as well. Okay, everyone, we have come to the end of this video. I hope it was short. I'm just hoping that it's short. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And also, what I would like to hear is, how are you handling black tax? Because, yeah, I say no. I'm just like, I don't have it. I don't have it. And when I don't have, I don't have. When I do have, I can give you. So let's talk about this in the comment section. How are you handling black tax? And so thank you so much, guys, for watching. See you in the next video. All right.